the Puppet Master. All these characters have individual personalities. Marcus, who is played by Sage, she is, her description is a bit of a stoner. Helena, who is played by Starlin, is a poet. Karen, who is played by Alani, is the superficial cheerleader. Robin, who is played by Lauren, is the school gossip. Tamara, which is played by Izzy, is the shy and secure girl. Ethan, who is being played by Nick because my original Ethan has gotten sick, so he's a fill-in. Sarah, who is being played by Taylor, is the average teen girl. Jeremy, who is being played by Dakota, is a rock and roller. Miranda, who is being played by Emma, is the academic girl. Chance, who is being played by Anthony, is the quarterback. Tish, who is being played by Annalisa, is the lost girl. And Adam, who is being played by John, is the angry boy. This realistic drama mixes humor with the dark reality that life isn't always fair and justice is not always served. So, please enjoy my show. Have fun.
Hey dude, why'd you call? Dude, no, you just called me. Dude, no, you just called me. Dude, no, you just called. Oh, why did I call you? Well, if you don't know, how am I supposed to know? Okay, yeah, later. Kinda got the munchies anyways.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the wasted generation, it was youth-led segregation. Lives are labeled early on, a puzzle piece, a willing pawn. The puppet master stirred the pot, while social conscience began to rot. So watch along as we recreate your generation's self-inflicted fate.
It was like, you know, not good. It's just not easy being a popular trendsetter. Everyone watches your every move. Everyone wants to be you. You need the right hair, right clothes, right look, and the right body. Plus, the pressure to always be on it in the know is a lot of work. That said, high school is a sweet time. I love watching the eye candy, flirting with the football players, going to cheerleading practice, and hanging out with my posse. Of course, like all teenagers, I love to hear the latest rumor and enjoy adding my 2 cents worth. What's the harm?
Okay, let's get one thing straight. Did you see Mean Girls? If you did, I compare myself to the Regina George character. I get pleasure out of others' pain. I revel in the universal suffering of others.
Psycho wench.
So I was always perceived as the shy one because I didn't talk much. I suppose some ways that's true. Yet I simply tended to only talk when I had something intelligent to say. There is nothing more annoying than listening to someone talk just to hear themselves speak. If you have nothing intelligent to say, don't speak.
Never mind.
High school is what you make of it. You can either be the center of attention and in the mix of it all, or watch the show from the sidelines. I chose the happy medium. I played on the volleyball team. I was part of Stugo, and, might sound nerdy, but I was on the debate team. I went to the pep rallies and actually had fun. I cheered on the sports team and was proud to wear my school colors. I tried not to fall for the cliques of high school, but I did.
I spent most of high school watching it pass me by. I didn't hate school, I was just there. Did my time, did my work, and that was it. I didn't go to any after-school activities, didn't hang out in the cafeteria, didn't go to any legendary high school parties. But in my 12th grade year, I wanted to change, break out of my shell. Ethan did that for me.
Tamara was an amazing girl. I knew I had to get to know her. I knew that under that shy exterior, there was a beautiful, sweet girl that was deeper than any other one. I liked her smile. I liked her cute laugh, and I liked the way she chewed her hair whenever she was nervous. Did I love her? I don't know. What exactly is love? Isn't that an ultimate question?
Ethan was an amazing guy. On one hand, he was witty and sarcastic. On the other, he was sensitive and compassionate. He volunteered at the local old folks' home. He actually enjoyed hanging out with his parents. Had a blog where he ranted about the injustices of the world and what should be done to change them. Although I felt nervous around most boys, I was incredibly comfortable around Ethan. His easygoing nature allowed me to open up and be myself. With his help, I became more confident, started wearing makeup, dressed a little prettier, and learned to be proud of who I am. I fell in love.
Ever start a rumor and watch it grow? It really is a magnificent piece of work. One simple lie, and the web is wove. There are very exact tips to the art of gossip. First, the more outrageous the lie, the more believable it is. Second, the more innocent the target, the more eagerly others believe. People love to see white turn black. Third, never, ever let the truth come out. The perfect lie eventually comes true.
It can't be true. It just can't. He would never say such things.
One minute our relationship was going so smooth. We laughed together, we cried together, we even planned on going to the same university. Me be a lawyer, her a teacher.
We had talked about it for a while. A lot more lately.
We dated for months. I respected her and I was okay with taking it slow.
Did you hear that Ethan was bragging that he and Tamara went all the way?
I couldn't believe he would say that. He was always telling me that he wasn't in a hurry, that he loved spending time with me, that he loved me.
Dude, nice score. I wouldn't mind a piece of that.
I didn't say that. The guys, they razzled me. They razzed me. And, you know, it's just the usual thing that guys do. Hey, dude, what about the third date rule? Or, I bet Karen would be more than a girlfriend.
Guys talk the talk and then talk the talk some more. Guys are so predictable. 90% of what guys say to their buddies is bogus. The other 10% is a vague resemblance of the truth.
It was like a prairie fire, spreading and spreading.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the baddest of them all?
Beer in my hand, I am your biggest fan.
And spreading and spreading.
I was furious. How could he do this to me? Treat me as an object.
She wouldn't believe me. I didn't know what to do. The girls started making fun of her, and the guys thought of me as some super dude.
A beautiful lie can ruin. It can bring down the mighty. It can crush the weak. Really, a perfect falsehood is a piece of art. A well-crafted Shakespearean tragedy. A Picasso. A Rembrandt.
Soon I had a reputation. And once you're given a label, it's impossible to break free. In high school, you are who you're perceived to be.
Tamara dumped me at the end of the semester. She transferred schools.
Ethan is single?
Mirror, mirror on the wall, another victim takes a fall.
So time went on, and a new rumor spread about someone else. And this one faded quickly from memory. Just like a tabloid, interesting for a while, but nothing to hold the interest for longer than the next juicy bit of gossip. Two people changed forever, and me, amused.
I thought I had a relatively normal life. I wasn't really popular, nor was I unpopular. I just did my time at school, got my B marks, and hung out with my few friends. I liked going to the movies, reading a good book, and chatting online. I liked meeting new people online who had similar interests as me. It was the opposite of high school. Instead of being judged by my looks, clothes, and zip code, I was judged by my thoughts and my personality. I didn't have to pretend to be something I wasn't, like I did every day at school.
Life is all about rock and roll. Not the sex and the drugs it is, but the power of a song. A rollicking guitar riff, 5-minute drum solo, a sweet jamming session, now that is rock and roll. Real musicians, not the Justin Britneys of the world, but the Jimmy Pages and Eric Claptons, they're hardcore. They put the music from their soul. They use blood, sweat, and tears to produce a song that resonates with everyone. Because true rock and roll, the kind you just bang your head to and just let go, lasts forever. What bands last? Not the pop crap like the Backstreet Boys or the Spice Girls, but the straight ahead, layer guitars, pounding drums, explosive vocals, AC/DC, Metallica, Van Halen, The Doors, The Who, The Police, the list goes on.
Dude, what about Kiss? They rock and roll all night.
Then I met Jeremy. Instantly, everything changed. We immediately clicked, and although we came from very different backgrounds, we were inseparable. He introduced me to many new things, like rock and roll concerts, Xbox, poker, French kissing.
Or Motley Crue. Motley Crue's a rock and roll must. Hey, Sarah's like super cute. I'd like to kickstart her heart and be your Dr. Feelgood.
Sarah's my opposite. Shy, conservative, and in the church crowd. I was outgoing, proactive, and anti-church. Trying to understand religion. Now that I was very skeptical and about questions and answers, I did begin to believe that none of that mattered when we were together.
I had to laugh when I saw Sarah and Jeremy holding hands. The church snob and slimy greaser a couple? I mean, what next? Was the quarterback going to date some lowly nerd?
Sometimes, when I'm really bored, I watch 80s movies and just laugh. The plots are always so cheesy, like 16 Candles, a girl whose family forgets her 16th birthday. Like, how tragic, how will she go on? Or, how about The Breakfast Club? As if one day in detention would have all the different cliques of high school bond. Cliques stay with their own. That's just the way things are. Jocks date cheerleaders, band geeks hang out with other band geeks, the nerds hang out with their computers, and the slugs of society hang out in the smoking section with other slugs. So when I learned that Jeremy the skid and Sarah the church girl were dating, I knew I had to do something extreme.
High school was funny. Jeremy was stereotyped as a stoner because he used to have long hair, wore heavy metal concert shirts, and hung out in Smoker's Corner. Yet, Jeremy did not smoke, drink, or do drugs. He simply loved rock and roll. He wrote songs about politics and social issues. And although he barely passed his classes, he was actually really smart.
I despise school. The classes usually boring and redundant, except history. History was amazing. Why does that man realize history repeats itself? Genghis Khan, Napoleon, Stalin, Hitler, they all killed millions for their own personal goals. It's certain, although everything changes, nothing really changes.
As soon as people learned we were dating, I got skeptical or quizzical looks. I was asked, "What are you doing with Jeremy?" And, "Really? You and Jeremy?" Even my own teachers questioned me about Jeremy. At first, I was annoyed, but then I got angry. I was sick of being judged, and I was sick of Jeremy being judged. Why does anybody care who I date?
As much as I hated the classes, what I really hated were the people. The posers, the followers, the jocks, they all think the score is theirs. What a howl. In 10 years, who cares who the captain of the basketball team was? Who is named prom king and queen? What the heck was said in the valedictorian speech? The answer? Nobody.
Sarah was my lab partner. I wouldn't say we were good friends, but I liked her. She helped me get by in chemistry, a class I still know nothing about. So, being a friend, I suggested that dating Jeremy may hurt her reputation. All girls have to worry about their reputations. But she would just not listen.
For
for a good time call Karen giving goody-goody Sarah reputation advice. Now that's ironic. Is that the right word? Ironic? I learned something in English for the third time. Cool.
My reputation? No one at school noticed me before. Why should I care about my reputation?
The rumor about Sarah was not actually about being malicious. It was about keeping the hierarchy of high school social status the way it should be. Sarah was technically a prep, be it not a very cool one, but she was still substantially above the worm that was Jeremy. Technically, I was doing Sarah a favor.
I'm not sure if I was in love with Sarah. I'm a guy, so love is somewhat abstract to me, but I sure liked her a lot. We haven't really done anything much, held hands, made out, the usual. Going further has only been a fantasy in my head, off to the night if you get my drift. And the topic cannot yet been broached. Next thing I know,
Sarah is pregnant. Debbie told Allie, who told Kara, who told Betty, who told Danielle, who told Kaylee, who told me that she saw Sarah leaving Dr. Wilson's office yesterday. Dr. Wilson only deals with people who have a bun in the oven, so obviously, dudes, Jeremy's gonna be a daddy. So not cool.
When I first heard the rumor I was pregnant, I actually laughed so hard I had tears in my eyes. I did pretty well in biology. Mom gave me the birds of the bee speech, and Jeremy and I had not done anything yet, so I was pretty darn sure I was not pregnant. Yet the rumor would not go away.
when I first heard the rumor, I chucked her to the usual high school crap. Yet it kept haunting me. She spent a lot of time with Martin, her best friend, and soon I began to wonder if there was something going on.
Ring around the high schools, pocket full of teen fools. Husha, husha, they all fall down.
I couldn't believe my eyes. Jeremy just ripped Sarah apart in the lunchroom in front of half the school. He accused her of cheating with that geek Martin. Now that's funny. And she ran out of the room crying. This had gone even better than I had imagined. I thought this one might go nowhere. But jealousy, oh, insecurity of man, wins again.
Okay, so what exactly is wrong with being smart? Why is it that getting good grades is frowned upon and you're automatically isolated from the so-called cool group? Whatever that is. Like really, when was it decided who'd be the cool kids and who'd be the outcasts? Was it based on looks, social class, athletics? Well, I come from a poor family. I get extremely high grades and I don't know a touchdown from a home run. Yet I'm a very fun person to be around. The funny thing is, they really have no idea who I am, what I like, my joys, my fears, my hopes and my dreams. In reality, I'm a fun person to be around, if only they look past the exterior.
Yeah, that's likely. Could you imagine it? The guys just hanging out and checking out the chicks. Hey man, look at the personality on that babe. Yeah man, if you play your cards right, you and her can converse all night long. Sweet man, yeah. I just love to lay awake at night and listen to her while she tells me about her fears, her hopes, and her dreams while we watch The Notebook. The Notebook, a classic film, man. I cry every time I see it. Me too, man. Sometimes I just need to be held. Come here, man. I'll give you a hug. As if.
People assume that because you are the quarterback, your parents are rich and you are rather attractive, that life's just peachy. Yeah, right. My dad's a doctor and Beck's actually going to make masters to take in my doctoral. Just because he did. And of course, play football. My mom drinks a lot. My parents' marriage is a charade and the slowly pretending she's happy facade is going down. And lastly, I do not even want to be a doctor. I want to be an actor. Not that anyone has ever asked.
Chance is so fine. Delicious eye candy. Karen is so been around the block. Even I tapped that.
Funny how sometimes gossip can backfire. There was this girl, Miranda, a real nerd. She usually wore her hair in pigtails, always had her head in a book, and always wore clothes from Walmart. Walmart, for Pete's sake. So I thought, for fun, I would get Dave, a friend of mine, to write a love letter to that I'd dictate and leave unsigned. Well, for a week or two, I could barely contain myself when I watched her read each new letter.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Sinister dealings, deja vu.
At first I thought the letters were a joke. They were signed Secret Admirer, and I just kept waiting for the punchline. Like, really, who could like me?
The parents?
But soon I began to be swept away with the eloquence of the words. And although deep down I figured I was being set up for a fall, my hopes of love, of fitting in, took control.
Miranda was a sweet girl. She made me laugh and she was a great partner to have. I really enjoyed working on the chemistry project with her. We really liked working together.
Well, guess what? A brilliant idea came to mind. When I learned that Shy Miranda and football star Chance, the pretty boy of the school, were partners, I figured it was too good to be true. So guess what we did? Yeah, we did. We wrote another letter and signed it Chance. Then we waited for the hysterics to begin.
Figures. The nerd always gets put with the hot guy. She probably thinks second base is only in baseball.
The fourth letter was the most romantic yet. It said, my eyes lit up the room, and that I was the only star of this universe. It was signed Chance.
Well, soon I began to have feelings for Miranda. She was more than just some superficial waif like the usual girls I dated. She had substance, she had intelligence, she had wit, she had a quick sense of humor, and behind all that insecurity and conservativeness lie a beautiful girl waiting to bloom.
Roses are red, violets are blue. True love hit, and Cupid had no clue.
Roses are red, hot is green. I'm every girl's living dream.
My knees quivered as I wondered what I should do, what I should say. Sure, I'd been crazy about it since 6th grade, but I never considered it more than a schoolgirl's fantasy.
So, at the end of class one day, I decided to ask her out.
When he asked me out, it was like slow motion. I still remember the look in his eyes, the sincerity, the twinkle, the chocolate brown. I remember how every insecurity I had vanished and how I struggled to say yes, even though in my head I was screaming it so loud it echoed.
As if. What is she, some sort of charity case? Why would Chance date a revolting freakoid when someone like me, a cheerleader, is available? Like, why do I never get the chicks? Look at me. Who doesn't want a piece of this?
She was everything I wanted and needed. She taught me to be who I am and to stand up for myself. I think I thought of the same.
You've got to be kidding me. Oh well, on to my next victim.
Roses are red, violets are blue. True love always follows through.
The letting go of anger has 3 stages. The first stage is allowing the anger to build. This pent-up fury slowly increases inside of you until you feel a rage that you can no longer control. Sanity slowly dissolves till you're left without reasoning or logic. Instead, the anger slowly consumes you until it must be unleashed. The second stage is the unleashing of the anger. How the anger is released varies, but there's always a victim who receives the full extent of their wrath. It might be a girlfriend, a parent, a wall, your own body, but it must be unleashed on something for it to occur. The third stage is regret. Almost immediately after the anger is released, there is a sudden wave of regret as the individual realizes that the outlet of the anger was wrongly directed. Of course, this cycle continues over and over and over again, each time the anger getting more explosive as the issue never gets solved.
Have you ever been so angry that you just snap? So angry that all you do is cry, but no tears ever come? That is how I feel all the time. No matter how hard I try to let go of the past, to forget, the angrier I get. I've cried till I no longer have tears. I've punched and punched till my hands have bled, and I've screamed and yelled every profanity I know. Yet, I never feel better. Every day I hate myself and my life more and more.
Tish and I met at an anger management seminar. both of us forced to deal with their issues, but otherwise be expelled from school. I thought about not going, but I knew if I was expelled, my father would give me another name, so I reluctantly went.
The seminar was intense. There were 6 of us at this mandatory counseling session, and by the end of the day, I felt better and worse. In some ways, hearing people who were worse off than me made me feel better. Yet, on the other hand, my problems did not magically go away after one day of therapy.
I have something that could make all your problems magically go away. A special brownie.
I couldn't believe the things I heard. A girl who found her dad dead after he committed suicide and still blamed herself for everything. A boy who was so heavy into drugs, he shook the whole day, slowly getting more agitated minute by minute.
Then there was Adam. He barely spoke all day, refusing to acknowledge the pain that he was obviously feeling. But by the end of the day, I noticed that he wanted to be heard, wanted to tell his story.
I couldn't believe the things I heard. So I asked her to go for coffee with me. I felt we had similar problems, but the characters were different. My mom left my dad, my brother, and me when I was 10, and I blamed everyone. My mother for not sticking up to my father after all these loving years. My brother for being such a crybaby. My dad for being such a drunk, violent man. And me for not protecting the ones I loved.
I honestly did not want to say yes, but I saw a need in his eyes, a silent desperation. But after a few coffee dates, he began to slowly, ever so slowly, open up. I saw a young man who hated his dad and hated himself.
I had never told anyone that my dad used me as his own personal punching bag, his own anger therapy. He always apologized the next day, but the next time he was drunk, the fist eventually connected with my body. I couldn't allow Father Darius to hit Tyler, so I had to do something to protect him, yet my anger boiled up inside of me.
Over time, I realized I was in love with him. We had a bond, a secret understanding. We knew what each other were feeling without words. He understood my pain, my anger toward my mother. He kept me calm when I was ready to break. He began to heal a wound I never felt could be healed. He loved me when I never thought I would be loved. But other times, he felt distant, distracted, lost.
I feel that way all the time, baby, all the time.
Stats say 9 out of 10 people who were abused as children ended up being abusive to their children. Those stats scare me, so I had to find a way to squelch the serpent trying to break out of me.
Some people heal a broken heart with ice cream. Others by finding a new hottie. Others deal with it in crying fits, while others deal with it with insecure blame games. Oh, if only I'd put out or been a little skinnier. Me, I get revenge. When Adam dumped me, I was furious. He never even gave me a reason, just said it wasn't working and he needed to spend more time at home. What kind of an excuse is that? Anyways, it took some time, over a year. When I learned that Adam and that loopy Tish were getting friendly, well, I saw my chance for payback.
I've had the hots for Adam for forever. He was so handsome, so mysterious. Karen had the hots for any guy who breathed.
To make matters better, I learned that that easy, stuck-up cheerleader Karen wanted to make a play for my Adam. So, at the usual Friday night party, the perfect play was executed. Adam was there with his buddies, and I learned that Tish was not going to get there till she got off work at 11. So I slipped the rumor and watched it cultivate.
Hey, did you hear that dirty cheerleader Karen and that pretty boy, what's his name? Mike? No, Wally. No, Adam. Yeah, Adam were like making out upstairs.
The rumor spread quickly, and just as it got to Karen, Tish came in right on cue. The rumor, or as far as she knew, the truth, was whispered to her within seconds of her arrival.
Easy come, easy go. Tish's fuse is about to blow.
Easy come, easy go. Sweet. Time for a show.
When I heard about Karen seducing Adam, I flipped. All those Years of pent-up frustration came to a head, and without thinking, I found Karen and punched her in the face.
Dude, that was like the coolest thing ever.
The night was not over yet. Not by a long shot. After the cat fight was stopped by the jocks, Adam snapped on everyone.
After seeing Tish break, I did too. I didn't want to, but it was like my body was being led without my own permission. I started screaming and cursing at everyone as I broke a bottle against a mirror and threw a vase at a wall. Why do we all hate each other? Why can't we just respect each other's differences and get along? Why do we always expect the worst out of each other? As I said it, I already knew the answer. Because no matter how much our lives suck, and no matter how much pain we're in, it makes us feel better knowing that there are others worse off as us. And although it is a hollow comfort, it is still comfort.
Time moves on. 5 years have passed. The world keeps turning. Robin gets the last laugh.
A couple years later, I learned that the rumor was indeed not true, but by then it was too late. My first love was stolen from me. I tried to call and apologize for everything, but cannot get up the nerve.
I tried for so long to get her to understand that it was a lie, that I loved her, and that I would never do something so awful. Yet, we changed forever. I still think of her every so often, and I wonder, what if?
In the end, I too succumbed to the idiocies of high school. And by the time I realized the obvious, it was too late. I jumped to rational conclusions, and you can't take back words. They linger long if they are said, like a fog off the ocean coast.
Jeremy eventually realized he was wrong and apologized to me. I accepted his apology, but I could no longer see him in the same light. The anger and hate he threw at me that day hit me like 1,000 daggers. And although I forgave him, I could not forget.
I knew after that night I had to leave home. I had to break free from the hold my mother's guilt had over me. I did the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I phoned social services. My siblings were eventually placed in a nice home together, while I ended up bouncing around from shelter to shelter. I never did graduate high school, but after years of soul searching, I finally discovered who I am. A young woman simply trying to find her place in the world.
That night changed me forever. I became the last thing I wanted to be, my father. I became a monster, a freak. And I realized that, though, although my father can never change, I still can.
In retrospect, high school brought out the worst in me. I enjoyed being the center of attention and hearing the latest juicy piece of gossip. But I spent way too much time worrying what others thought of me and not enough time worrying what was best for me. The next big rumor at school was that I was pregnant. Unfortunately, this rumor was true. I got to 12th grade, barely, and instead of going to college like all my friends, I still live at home, raising my son.
A couple months later, I learned that Chance had not written those letters. I often wondered who did, yet it really did not matter. Chance and I would spend every free second we could together. I supported
told him to do what he wanted to do.
Dad, I'm not going to be your puppet. I'm not like you. My dad was pissed at first, and after, it took some time, but in the end, it made our relationship stronger. I can thank Miranda for that. She is my everything. I asked her to marry me last week. It seemed like the right time. We've been dating for 5 years, and I just got my first big break. A lead role in a Broadway version of Hamlet. I am Horatio.
Dude, high school was like the best 6 years of my life. One more year and I would have like so graduated.
The art of gossip is an exact science. The styles of gossip spreading can also vary. Sometimes a situation that's already tepid can be pushed to a confrontation with a little well-worded gossip. Other times, a well-spread tidbit of false information can forever taint a person's reputation. Of course, the best revenge is a dish best served with malicious gossip. It is so beautiful, all the pleasure of revenge, all the anger unleashed, and it never gets back to the one who started it. Perfection. I am the puppet master.
Oh yeah, she said yes.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was a time of perseverance, where everything was based on appearance. Lives were shattered, tainted forever, all for the sinister pleasure of the puppet master who set the fire and watched as the flames went higher. She smiled, laughed, and gave an evil grin as she bathed in the glory of her sin.
Amelia, we love you so much. I'm in love with you. Thank you for being the best director we could have possibly asked.
Perfect.